morning everyone and welcome to this morning's assembly. It's going to be all about VE Day, which is tomorrow, but remember the school's not open tomorrow, so we are not doing assembly tomorrow, so we're going to do our VE Day assembly today. Harry's here with us. Finn is not today, but Harry has joined us today to help with the PowerPoint. First of all, let's talk about some work that we've done this week and some children have done. The first piece is by Toby, and it is this fabulous presentation that he's done on Bury. I am going to do an assembly all about Bury and where we live on Monday. I'm going to use Toby's PowerPoint. If you want to see it, it is already on the website for you to use on the Wesley Methodist website, so please have a look at that. It is on the website already under the parents section where my assemblies are. Really good presentation, thank you Toby. And he's also done this week a fact file, Harry, hasn't he, down the bottom there? There it is, thanks Harry. There it is, all about penguins, so thank you for that. There's his penguin fact file. It talks about the fact that his favourite penguin is the emperor penguin. The emperor penguin, which is the biggest penguin. The penguins come from, obviously, Antarctica at the bottom of the world in the southern hemisphere. Talks about the different types of penguins. So fabulous, fabulous piece of work there from Toby. Thank you, Toby, for that. Just while Harry gets the presentation up, I have got a big thank you to Lucas, who sent me, and Macy, who sent me this card here, which thanks me for all of my support on all the assemblies. So thank you so much for that wonderful card there from you two. And they have also done some work this week. This is Lucas's Save the Bee poster. It's fantastic there, and it talks about how crucial the bees are and the importance of the bees for things like the fruits and flowers of the world as well, so and pollination. Really, really good from Lucas. Thank you, Lucas, for that. And Macy as well, fantastic writing, has produced this lovely poster for me as well. So thank you, Macy, for that. Absolutely fantastic from Lucas and Macy there. So today we're going to look at, first of all, some other work, and then we're going to talk about tomorrow, which is VE Day. So here's some work from Sammy. This was some work that he recreated with his dad, Mr. Soljak. Set him down there for Sammy, fantastic there, and it was in the style of Goldsworthy, an artist there, so he's done that in the style of an artist. Fantastic from Sammy. And Emmerich here has done a Save the Bees poster. It's a fact file as well, which is great. It has information about the fact they can fly fast and they make honey and they love flowers. Fantastic there. I really, really like that as well. Okay, Harry, keep going. Next slide, please. So here is Charlie's work as well. He's been doing work on life cycles there. Well done, Charlie. Really good work from you. Really liked that piece of work. And you sent me another couple of pieces as well. You have been working fantastically hard. And over here, finally, our final slide is Sophie, who sent that of her house all ready for her VE Day celebrations tomorrow. And I know, obviously, we won't be going out in the streets with each other and be able to go and celebrate in different places, but we can celebrate in our houses and we can celebrate in our gardens as long as we're 2 meters distance with our neighbours. And I know that Sophie will be celebrating with Ella, Maya and Alfie over the fence, 2 meters away, not together, tomorrow. So they've both decorated their houses there, so thank you for that as well. It looks amazing. I'm sure we'll have a great VE Day tomorrow. So, thank you for all your work you've sent in this week. If I've missed any work, just send me a quick message on Dojo and I'll make sure that we talk about it on Monday in our assembly. Here we go then. So, the PowerPoint is split up into 2 parts. There's the PowerPoint, which is going to be pictures, and then the normal words and writing that I put on the PowerPoint is actually on a separate Word document on the website, so they're both on there. So this PowerPoint plus the Word document, which explains what I'm going to be talking about today, which is that 75 years ago tomorrow is VE Day. So it's VE Day tomorrow, and 75 years ago it was the celebration of the end of World War II. World War II, which was a war between Britain, United States of America, and Russia and other countries against Germany and some of their friends who were on their side as well, and it celebrated the victory that we had over them. So a very, very important day. So at 3 p.m. on the 8th of May, Winston Churchill, who was the then Prime Minister, announced that war was over and war had ended, and announced that we had won it nearly 6 years after the war had started. So 6 years after the war was started, it finally ended. Now, this was a very, very happy and joyous time because the war had ended and people felt a little bit safer, but also a little bit sad at the same time because so many people died during that war period. Harry, just move back a little bit, please, for me. So the first picture we have today on the slide is one second, stop moving my presentation up. Is people dancing in the streets. This is people dancing in the street in London. 50,000 people turned up to London. We're dancing in the street with joy there. Harry, next slide, please. So this is some people who are in Trafalgar Square in London who are wading through the water, in the water there, again celebrating the victory that we had during the war. Okay, and there's some other people doing the V for Victory sign on the top of a building again in London. Harry, just move forward a little bit. There is Sir Winston Churchill himself. Now there are some videos, and there's one there that says YouTube there. So if you go onto the PowerPoint presentation, you can find a couple of videos showing the importance of Winston Churchill, and there's also a really, really good bite-sized clip all about Winston Churchill and his life and who he was. He came into the war quite late. The old Prime Minister went, and he was the Prime Minister all the way through the war from that point. He was a very important person, and he made lots and lots of speeches to help people and to try and guide people through a really, really difficult time of war, nearly 6 years of war. Next slide, please, Harry. And there he is again, with the King at the time. So that's King George at the top there, and the princesses as well. So King George, who was the king at the time before our Queen, very, very important person there, and celebrating the victory with everyone else. So this is a bit of a picture of the aftermath. It was a victory, and it's going to be celebrated tomorrow in Britain, a very important landmark at 3 o'clock tomorrow, 75 years since the end of the war. So it's important tomorrow that we celebrate the fact that we do have all the freedoms we have today, all the British values that we talked about in our British Values Assembly, very, very important. And it's important that we celebrate that, but it's also important that we think about the devastation that was caused as well. So here are two little girls, and you can see in the background of this picture, if you've got this up, that there's a lot of wreck and ruins, and a lot of Britain was knocked down, blown up, because bombed, and it took a long, long time to rebuild. So 75 years ago was the date when the war stopped, but the aftermath continued on and on and on. It took 10 years to stop the rationing, so people still had to ration their food for 10 years because lots of the factories and lots of the infrastructure in Britain had been stopped because of bombing. So it took a long time for all countries, not just Britain, to get back to normal. And I think it's important we don't just think about our country, but also all the other countries who also had devastation during the war in Europe and beyond. So we need to really, really think about everybody, that it was a joyous day, and we should celebrate tomorrow, and we should have a lovely day, and lots of you will be doing lots of things and having lots of parties within your houses, but we also need to think about the fact that that lots of people lost their lives and those terrible things happened as well. Okay, Harry. Okay, so after VE Day, it became a time for rebuilding, a time for moving forward, and it's a bit like now with this virus, which is a completely different thing, and I'm not comparing it to the war, but we've got the coronavirus at the moment. You're all doing a great job, and we're going to have to come out the other side of this just like we came out of the war, and move forward as a country. So it's important tomorrow that we think about the people who died during the war, that we also keep ourselves safe. Have a lovely, lovely weekend. Hopefully you've enjoyed this week's assemblies. And it's bye from Harry.
Bye.
So bye from me, and I will see you on Monday.